I made a quick post the other day, but I think that for documenting purposes, I should make a video. So, I don't know the date. I'm guessing it was somewhere around May 3rd or so. I had called Michael home. I wasn't feeling right. And he came and he stood me up and was going to take me over to Miriam. Something was off. So I stood up, I took about 2 steps, and I dropped to the floor. So we were unsure of what was going on. We knew that I was having some chest issues, and something was definitely way off with me. So he got me out of the house, and he called the rescue because he felt that although maybe he could have gotten me in the car, he was unsure of how to get me into the hospital once we got there. So I got to the hospital, and my labs were all taken. They were either too low, too high. They were just all screwed up. So anyway, they felt that I had diabetes. And maybe that's what was happening with why I fell to the floor. So that was on, I believe, a Friday. The following Monday, I believe it was the 10th. I woke up and I wasn't feeling right. Something was off. So I called Michael at work, and if you can only imagine being so far away and me letting him know that I felt that I was having a heart attack. So because of Riley and keeping him safe from, with an emergency situation and everything, he would have been confused and it would have been a difficult task. I got myself outside and he called the rescue. I can kind of remember stumbling down the driveway, and I heard a voice saying, "Are you okay?" And it was a neighbor. And I said, "I'm not okay." And so I'm thinking about it. They didn't even know that I can't see. So I must do pretty good. So they stayed with me. I told them that Michael had called the rescue. And they also called the rescue. And they stayed with me until the rescue came. And it wasn't long. I know it wasn't long. I got in the back of the rescue, and my blood pressure was really high, and they were having a hard time getting an EKG reading that was good enough to understand what was going on. And I've said it so many times, and it's worth repeating. My fire department, They're the real heroes in this city. And I know that it's a job, but they do it so well. And they do it with compassion, and they're just great. They're just great. But so I'm in the back of the rescue, and I'm like, guys, I love you. I love my fire department, but this isn't a drill. We gotta get there. We gotta get there. And I got there, and the Miriam Hospital is like so crazy busy. But they got me into the back, and they saw my EKG, and they started working on me. So I think that when I think of who you can rely on and who is there, right? And again, I know it's a job, but these men, and I'm sure women, I don't think that I've encountered a woman up to this point, but they have no idea who I am. They ask my name, and stuff like that, but they're just writing stuff down, and they're just, trying to figure stuff out. But, I can honestly say that on that day, and I believe it was the 10th of May, their skill, the way they deal with people, the way that they're just so professional, and they're just amazing. And that's why, when, and I was just saying it yesterday, that, I know, when they're doing contracts, and, there's little scuttlebutt here and a little scuttlebutt there, and, what, fire stations need repair, and, all that. On that day, they saved a life. And I feel that there's no, I don't know how I want to say it, but there's no amount of money that could ever compensate our fire department. Our fire department is amazing. And it's so funny, because the other day I was thinking about how I was in a bad car accident. I want to say I was 18. I'm not sure. Maybe I was 18, and it was a bad car accident. And the first face I saw was Kenny Noiser. And I knew Kenny. I had known Kenny for years. And just that comforting, feeling of knowing that the person that showed up for the emergency is very willing and able and capable of handling the situation. I still think about how the whole side of the car was pretty much on top of me, and I had said to Kenny, "Is it bad? Is the car bad?" And he said, Nah, it's not bad at all. I'm sure that, you just pull out a couple of, then she'll be fine. The car's gonna be fine. Yeah, the car was totaled. But I just think of when you are in the shits, right? And you're unsure of what's going on, or you're not feeling well, or for whatever reason, and you call upon the Pawtucket Fire Department, they're going to do everything, no matter who you are. And I say that in the way of, the people that have done wrong. I mean, the people that have done our fire department wrong don't even live in this city. They don't even live in this city. But I hope that whatever city that they live in, that they have the same type of people that we have here in Pawtucket. So many people have tried to, I don't know. I don't know if it was, I don't know what it was. I don't know what this was all about, this whole thing with the fire department. I try to think about it, and, to think that somebody was just being so evil and so just bullying our guys down there. And I think, and what did it accomplish? I mean, Tina can do all these types of things and, fire people and do all this crazy nonsense, right? And who paid for it? The taxpayers in the city of Pawtucket. We paid for Tina to abuse our fire department. Isn't that sad? I mean, I don't know what the number is. I know that there's a few people working numbers right now. But you want to taint somebody's name. You want to, in some way, hurt them. There have been many opportunities where I could have done or said things or whatever. And I haven't, and I've had restraint. But it's usually because something was done to me or to my family. So I have to say, what the fuck is her problem? And I'm being honest, what the fuck is this woman's problem? She was willing to lie on Asha. I've never laid eyes on Asha. I have no idea. I don't know what he sounds like. I've never talked to him. I've never texted with him. I've never messaged him. But I want to always put it out there that he was done wrong. He was done wrong, and she was willing to lie about it. And that just shows the type of public safety director or chief of police or whatever that we don't need. We don't need that kind of a person. And, just so you know, I mean, I did put out that when I went in the rescue and everything, full disclosure, don't go in my file. Don't ever go in my file. Don't ever access it. Don't ever print it. Don't ever do anything. And I'm not saying for my fire department, the guys that are out there every day on the road. I'm talking about the administration. There are laws against that we're trying to get straightened out with the city of Pawtucket. And again, not my guys, not the ones that show up. It's the Wesley Myers, the Lance Dumont's, which he doesn't work there anymore, the John Trenton's, the Tina Gonzalez. So those are the people, the Don Grebians. Your files are not safe. I'm going to prove that. Your medical records are not safe with this administration. And they can do it the quiet way, or they can do it, we can do it loud and proud. But they're going to change things. They're going to change things. You know, it's so funny that I spoke with Elizabeth Moreira yesterday, and she said that the reason they bought Freight Street was because they weren't ADA compliant. Yeah, you know why? You know why they bought Freight Street? Because I pointed that out to them, that they're not ADA compliant. They're still not. Still to this day, they're not. And these are important things that I'm sure they appreciate when I bring it to their attention, because they don't see past their nose. But anyway, that basically, I wanted to give a shout out to the Pawtucket Fire Department. You guys are always there for me. I appreciate you more than you know. And just keep doing the job that you're doing, because you're doing a great job. All right, bye.